Before we even look at houses in Tucson, this is the first conversation I have with my clients. Are you selling your current home or should you keep it? Most people default to selling because it feels simple. You're relocating, you sell, you move on. But simple isn't always strategic. If you bought before 2020, there's a very good chance you're sitting on significant equity and a very strong interest rate. And that changes the conversation completely. When people relocate, they're thinking about schools, neighborhoods, lifestyle. All of that is very valid, but underneath that, there's usually fear. Fear of managing a rental from out of state, fear of losing a low interest rate, and fear of making the wrong move. And sometimes that fear makes people rush into selling without actually evaluating the math. Here are the 4 things I walk through with every relocating client. What's your current interest rate? How much equity do you have? What would the property realistically rent for? And do you truly need all of the proceeds to buy here in Tucson? Let me give you a simple example. Say you bought your house in 2018 for $400,000 at a 3.5% interest rate. Today, let's say it's worth $650,000. That's $250,000 in appreciation. Because of that low rate, your payment is very likely very manageable compared to today's market. Now, let's say the home could rent for $3,000 a month. Even if that cash flow is modest, maybe just a few $100s after expenses, 3 important things are happening in the background. First, the property may continue to appreciate over time. Even at a 3 to 4% annually, that growth compounds. Second, your tenant is paying down your mortgage every single month. That's equity building for you. And third, if structured properly, it can generate some level of positive cash flow. So now you're living in a home that fits your lifestyle better here in Tucson, while another asset is quietly building wealth in the background. Now, does that mean keeping it is always the right move? No. Sometimes selling makes perfect sense. Maybe you need the equity, maybe the numbers don't work, or maybe you just want to keep it simple. There isn't one right answer. But defaulting to selling without evaluating both options isn't strategic. I recently worked with a client who assumed selling was their only choice. They had owned the property for years, had strong equity, and had a low rate. We ran the numbers carefully, and instead of selling, they structured it as a rental. Now the property is paying them while they enjoy a home here that better fits their lifestyle today. Maybe they'll sell one day, maybe they won't, but now it's a choice, and that's the difference. If you're relocating to Tucson, whether you're looking in Oro Valley, the Catalina foothills, or anywhere in the Tucson area, this is a conversation worth having before you start house hunting, because this isn't just about buying your next home. It's about making a smart, long-term decision.